Okay, so today on the Cowbridge Kitchen, I'm going to make a surprisingly popular dish. I'm going to make a green bean casserole. It's dead simple to make. You only need a few simple ingredients. Obviously you're going to need some green beans, and you want some onions, okay? And this is going to be mainly for the topping. So I'm going to use about 5 good sized brown onions, get them sliced up, and you need to soak them in some milk there. So get about 100 millilitres of milk, get them soaking in there. I've got some over here that I've already started, so let me show you what to do and how to get this delicious vegetarian festive green bean casserole on the go. Okay, so there we are. Like I said, we've got about 5 brown onions here, all sliced up. I've got most of them in about 100 millilitres of milk here. We've cut them into small sort of onion rings. So we get the rest of them in the milk, and what we're going to do is let them soak in there for about 5 minutes or so. Okay, over at the stove I've got a pan, and it's got about 2 inches or so of vegetable oil in it. Okay, I've got that at about 180 degrees. Our onions have been soaking in our milk now for about 5 minutes or so. What we're going to do next, we've got a container with some flour in it. I'm going to get a good handful of those onions into this flour and shake it up. There we are. So get them into the flour like so. Pop the lid on it and give them a good shake so they all get fully coated in the flour. And there we are. And then what we're going to do is put them into the oil with a fork. There we are, so a couple at a time, straight into there, and get them frying off. Okay, so while they're frying off, I've got a plate over here now with some blue roll in there. That's going to be used for draining them off, okay? Because what we're going to do, they're only going to fry there for about 2 minutes maybe, until they start to go nice and crispy. When we get them out, we're going to drain them on the blue roll. And what you want to do then with the rest of your onions is get them all in batches, big handful batches, into your flour, coated in flour with a fork into that oil, okay? Get the whole lot cooked off. And there we are. As you can see, these are pretty much done now, so we can pop them out with our slotted spoon onto the blue roll and let them there just to drain off. And there we are. So all of our onions now have been French fried. What we're going to do is we'll add these onions just into the container, and then we'll set that aside for use a bit later on. Okay, so the only other ingredients that we're going to need for this, we've got a tin of mushroom soup. Okay, you can make some of your own if you want to. There's a video here, up here on the I button. If you want to make your own, it's going to taste a lot better. You can, but I'm just going to use a tin for this video. Okay, we're going to want about a tablespoon of soy sauce, some pepper for seasoning, and we're going to want to make a little cup of corn flour, okay? So 1 dessert spoon of corn flour in a glass with about 2 dessert spoons of water. So we'll get that made up now, and then we'll get over to the stove. There we are, so about 1/4 of a small glass of water, 1 dessert spoon of corn flour into there, and just get that mixed up. And we can set this aside now with our onions. Okay, so what you want to do at this point is get your oven on, stick it on to about 180, 200 degrees, get that nice and hot, because what we're going to do in this pan now is only going to take a few quick minutes, and we're going to be getting this straight into the oven and baking it. Okay, so in the pan, get the heat on the pan on the stove. What we're going to do is we are going to get our tin of mushroom soup, and we're just going to tip that straight in. Get that all of in there. So these tins are 400 grams, so if you've made your own, you're going to want about 400 grams of it, okay? What we're going to do, just to get the rest of it out of there, I'm going to pop, I don't know, about 100 mils of milk into that mushroom soup tin. I'm going to give it a bit of a mix around, and then that can go into there. There we go. Get yourself a fork and give that a good mix. Okay, so at this stage now we're going to add our beans to our soup. Okay, so we'll get this cracked open, and we'll just get all of these beans. It's about 250 grams of beans here into that soup. Get all of them in there. Get the whole lot in, and mix them in to that mixture. Lovely. There we are. So what you want to do now is cover this with a lid and just leave it simmer for about 5 minutes. Okay, so our green bean casserole has been cooking now for about 5 minutes or so, so the beans have started to go nice and soft. Get the lid off them, take a little look, give that a stir. Yeah, looking pretty delicious. What we're going to do now is add our tablespoon of soy sauce to this pan. Get that mixed in. Have a good shake of pepper now to season that. Put as much in as you like, depends on how spicy you want it really, how peppery you want it, not too peppery. There we are, we get that all mixed in. And what we're going to do now, just to thicken this liquid up a little bit, we're going to add our corn flour that we made earlier. You don't want to add all of this, okay, just add it a little splash at a time with the heat up, and as this sauce thickens up, we'll stop adding it. There we are, so get that all mixed in, and that'll thicken up quite nicely. Okay, so we've got a pretty decent consistency there. Pop a little tiny bit more in there. All it remains to do now is to put this into a casserole dish, get our onions on top of it, bake it in the oven. There we are. Okay, so our green bean casserole is pretty much made up there. What we're going to do now, with a spoon, we are going to fill this dish up. Okay, now whatever size dish you use obviously is going to dictate how much you can get in there, but you want to get as much in here as you can to fill it up. Smells absolutely delicious. Loads of beans in here. Look at them. Okay, so we'll just give this a bit of a clean up. You can only make sure your beans are all nicely inside of the casserole dish. And then our French fried onions, now what we're going to do is just going to get handfuls of these and cover it over the top there. As many as you like on here, you know. If you want a really good crispy top into this, you want to get tons of these on there. There we go. And that is ready to go in the oven. Okay, so like I said, you want to bake this now at about 180 to 200 for about half an hour or so until these onions have got a nice crispy brown colour. Okay guys, so just check this green bean casserole now in the oven, and it's been cooking for about half an hour or so, and it's pretty much done. So we're going to whip that out of the oven, get that up here on the board, and plate it up.